Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, friends. Welcome to the first episode of KFD&D, where we play Dungeons and Dragons, but with a little Kentucky Fried twist, which I don't know what that means, but it sounded really good at marketing, so we're kind of going with it. I am joined by 5 amazing players, all with various levels of Dungeon and Dragons experience. So we're going to definitely focus this towards a newer crowd. If you're not familiar with it, don't worry. There's nothing that we won't explain, and it should be kind of fun for everybody, hopefully, right? Right? No? Okay. Yeah. It's all good. All right, so we're going to introduce our players first before we set our scene and explain how the game itself is going to go. So, Bethany, why don't you introduce yourself and say hi?
Hi, my name's Bethany. In the chat, you'll see me as Burger Bun, and today I'm playing Chime, which I don't know if we're gonna. Are we explaining our characters now?
We'll get to that in just a second. Burger Bun also streams, and if you haven't checked out her stream, please do. She does Pokemon like randomizer. Love watching it. Super fun. I don't understand Pokemon because I'm too old for that, apparently, but I really, really enjoy watching her. And next up, we have Cheryl. Cheryl, say hi.
Hello, everyone. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I will be in the chat, I guess, with the swap, I think. I don't know. But my Twitch is pointless, so you don't need to know that. So I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. That's a really good thing. I should have had us all do our pronouns. I go with he, his. Bethany, you want to go with yours, and then we'll keep going.
I'm she, her.
And let's go to Ryan next.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I'll be playing Carnian Tier. My pronouns are he, him, his, and just really looking forward to this. I'll be in the chat as RW Evans 4.
Awesome, and thanks for the feedback on audio. Let me know if it is still a problem. I have raised it for all of our players. Hamed, what you got?
Hi, my name is Hamed. I will be playing Sir Kenneth Mandrake Duckian III, also called Kenduckian, and he is of a new race that we created specifically for this game of giant walking humanoid ducks called Anatoids. So he's pretty big, he's kind of fat, and he's got a bad attitude, but I think that's pretty fitting for any of my friends who know me. So
I got nothing to say to that.
Oh. And my pronouns are he, his, it, they, she, everything, all of them. Yeah, all the pronouns.
And last but not least, Tim.
Last but not least, that's me. I'm Tim. By the way, in Twitch, I go by me handlebars, he, him, and I am playing James Hasbro, who is a feral tiefling blood hunter, which was not easy to get into Roll20, let me tell you, but it's going to be fun, and we'll get into more about both the race and the class later, because both are a little uncommon, so yes, super excited.
Yeah. So for those of you that are new to Dungeons and Dragons, this is a cooperative storytelling game. Me as the DM, I'm, in theory, in charge of this world, but that's not how I typically like to run things. I do like being in charge. I really do. I love it. I relish it. It's one of the greatest things ever. But that doesn't make it quite as cooperative. And those of you in the chat, you would just be watching the story and you wouldn't really be participating in it. So what we've done is, as you watch our channel, you're going to accumulate points, which we call kernels because we are clever. With those kernels, you can remind us to do things like hydrate, which is very important, to stretch. There's some other things in there. But for 1,000 kernels, you can name something in this world. We are playing on a homebrewed world, which I really haven't even named yet. So even that is up to go. Yeah, Booze Hammer, just like a Colonel Sanders, except without us getting sued. So don't repeat that to anybody. So, feel free to throw out names, throw out ideas. This is going to be your game just as it is ours. No problem. Thanks, Jillian, for letting me know. I keep adjusting audio. Is that better? Okay, I'll just assume it is. So feel free to use those points and kind of help us with the game. It'll be great. So with the cooperative storytelling, I don't know what they're going to do, and they don't know what I have planned for them. So things might at times be a little clunky. This is not a pre-published adventure. This is completely made up on the spot, just like we made up Hamed's race. We haven't made up anything else for the other characters. But, oh, Boozehammer, thank you so much for the subscription. That means the world to us, and I didn't put our alerts up, but
Thanks,
it is
Boozehammer. That's
greatly...
a buddy of mine.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Boozehammer. So, sit back. We're going to do this as often as we can, probably once every other week. We should have talked about that before this, but as of now, we're going to plan on the 24th for our next broadcast of D&D. So I think we're ready to kind of jump into this with some characters, right? You guys ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
Cool,
Yeah.
let's do this.
Sling some dice.
So what you all know is that your old world is dying. Plants aren't surviving. Animals, therefore, aren't surviving. Food is scarce. It's just a generally not a great time to be alive. Plagues will decimate entire countries, and no one seems to know why. There are countries that go to war. To them, it's just an act of mercy. They're not looking for land. They're not looking for power. They're just looking for a way to kind of cull their own population, have their soldiers not die of starvation. At least that way they die a quicker and less painful death. So, all in all, the world itself is not in a great situation. But there has been a beacon of hope. For the longest time, it was believed, and many will still argue, that the world you live in is flat. Sailors, and countless sailors, not just a small number, they swear up and down they have seen the edge of the world, and they describe it in great and vivid detail, and all these descriptions are almost exact. So it hasn't so much been a question of the world of, is the world flat, or where does the world end? It's what do we do? How do we escape the situation? So with this desperation came innovation, as it typically does in most worlds. So at one point, an adventurer went out with his party, as adventurers do, rented a ship, and sailed it off the edge of the world. A couple of months passed, and the excitement of this new adventure quickly faded. People began to forget about it, deemed it a failure, and moved on with their sad and pitiful lives. But just recently, within the last 3 months of our adventure starting, one of those adventurers came back, a wizard of great renown. And if anyone has 1,000 points to spend, they have a chance to name
Oh,
this wizard.
hold on.
I'm
Gotta
holding
make sure
on.
I've got to make sure I'm spelling it right.
Oh, hi, Katie.
Schmebulok.
Schmebulok.
Oh, Schmebulok.
Schmebulok.
Schmebulok. Is that right? He was a wizard of great renown. Perhaps
Exactly, Boozehammer.
That's so good. Of great power and renown, and part of a famous adventuring party that did this expedition. So when he reappeared, there was great fanfare and great excitement that they survived. At least he survived. Schmebulok told of a utopia just past the edge of the world, and gave certain kings, political allies that before then, tips on how to survive this journey, and that was in turn passed down to certain captains, so that the people that were going to this continent could be controlled, because those in power want to control everything, even if it's not within their realm anymore, not within their sphere of influence. So, shortly after returning and divulging these secrets, Schmebulok demanded to go back. It wasn't a question of when. He says he is going back on the very next boat. And with this discovery, the world seemed a little brighter. People were excited. Expeditions, of course, controlled expeditions by rulers who had this secret on how to make it, and even some that didn't made it and went out to this new world, which is where you find yourselves. For various reasons, you're all on a ship, several days out of port, knowing it's a one-way trip, unless you're a powerful wizard, such as Schmebulok. And off you go into this great unknown, this great beyond. And we find ourselves in a beautiful, beautiful sunny day, a warm ocean beneath you, the gentle rocking of a three-masted caravel. You have another ship along with you, the High Zenith, a ship of gnomish design, whereas your ship is a typical human, three-masted, as I said, caravel. The gnomish ship is similar, but you do notice large sails on the sides that are tucked up, almost like they're, I don't want to say spoilers or fins, but definitely a design that you've never seen, and that the ship stays 100 feet away at all times. Your guys are going together. You know, there's safety in numbers, but controlled. So, Kenduckian, tell me, friend, what are you doing on the ship currently? And give us a description of your character, physically, everything. Tell me.
Scene opens up in a chamber, a single hammock, kind of dark, maybe a few candles, boats rocking back and forth, and in the corner you see a robed figure, kind of in a dark forest green robe, hunched over his shoulders, standing over a candle and thumbing through several envelopes, reading the names of his family members on those envelopes. You see Huey, you see Louie, you see Dewey, you see Dick, you see Tom, Harry on these, and you see a giant humanoid duck shaking his head. Damn it, Howard, you have to go and get yourself lost like this. Oh, these nieces and nephews, mainly nephews. Now you gotta disappear on them. And now I have to come and find you. He slams down a stack of envelopes and crosses his legs, begins to meditate.
That is beautiful. All right. So with Kenduckian having that moment, this is going to be like school, except you can't volunteer. I'm just going to name you guys at random, so hope you're ready. James Demon Hasbro on the
Just
boat.
James Hasbro.
Oh, I think it was your nickname, but it's not on here. Anyway.
As a kid, but I'll explain why here in a second. So, like where the door to the cabin goes into the ship, I'm hanging out next to a barrel next to that. So basically, I'm not trying to hide, but I'm trying to not stand out. And the reason why I would normally stand out is because I am a feral tiefling. I have horns. They are asymmetrical. I have rust red skin. And I normally stand out like a sore thumb in day. So in case you don't know, tieflings are generally regarded as a race that's normally half humanoid and half demon. The standard tiefling is usually derived from Asmodeus, I believe. And then feral tieflings are usually derived from a lesser demon, or a demon that's not the king of all demons, Asmodeus. So standard tieflings usually have blue skin. Not always, but usually. But I do not. I'm a little more scrappy. So I have a little bit more of a thin figure, almost like just pretty scrappy. I've got some faded gray studded leather armor on, and I have a dagger out, and I'm just cleaning my nails, and I'm it looks like I'm looking down, but I'm paying attention. I'm trying to see what's going on. I want to not appear like a threat, because if I look at anybody the wrong way, they usually think I'm a threat, and that usually gets a rise out of people, and I don't want that, especially on this where I can't run away. So just hanging out in a shadow, but it's not a very dark shadow. Just biding my time.
I like it. I like it. Little mysterious and hiding. Next up, we have Ryan with his character Karn.
Karn is currently on the actual deck of the ship. To anyone who's sitting there, it just looks like he's a monk in a blue robe, just meditating, just listening to him mutter a mantra under his breath until about every 30 seconds when he goes, I am one. Oh God, oh God. This is his first time on a ship, so the reason he's out on the deck is because he's running over to the side of it constantly. To anyone, well, Karn is an ASMR, which means he is half human, half celestial. It's not, aside from the odd hair color just being silver and red eyes, not really any indication of that. He's just on his way to this new continent. He has no idea as to where he comes from, but has heard rumors that he might be able to find something about his parentage. And it sounded like a great idea. He ran to the first available ship, but has quickly discovered that ships don't agree with him.
Oh, poor Karn. Well, maybe you'll get lucky and not be at sea too long for this unknown amount of time voyage. But next up is Chime, our rogue. And I want to point out that Bethany, who is playing Chime, has done all of the character art that you see. So you should also check out her Twitter and book some commissions with her, because she is obviously very talented. And of course, check out her Twitch channel at Burger Bun.
Thank you. So Chime is a Kenku rogue. So Kenku are sort of this like half, like sort of Raven Crow humanoid race that ordinarily they can only speak through mimicry. So if they hear something often enough, they'll gain the ability to mimic it. And, sometimes if they hear something, they can repeat it immediately after. And that's really how they communicate. And so Chime is sort of just a dirty street bird who is she's really just fighting to get a little something each day for her husband and her kid. And she's not a stranger to stealing a little bit from the boats. So she'll go out to the harbor, she'll hop on a boat, and she'll kind of dig through storage, see what she wants, see what she can get. And this is not the first ship that she's been on that has set sail while she's on it. But she is not aware of where this boat is going. So right now, I imagine as soon as the ship sets sail, it's kind of a little like the bird equivalent of a sigh, and kind of a this again, and just kind of hunkering down and sitting behind some crates and making sure she's not super obvious. And the next point of her next goal is to find a source of food that will keep her during this trip, because this is definitely not a cruise ship and she's not able to blend in.
Definitely not a cruise ship, but luckily this ship does have a source of entertainment, and that entertainment comes in the form of tambourine.
Hello. I am Tambourine. I am a Kalistar bard. And everywhere I go, I have my little pan flute with me to entertain, if you call it that. So I am slowly walking around the ship, trying to protect my very porcelain skin from the harsh sun. And while I do that, I'm just observing, watching the others on the ship, trying to learn, trying to figure out what's going on. Because I, as a Kalashtar bard, well, some of us are reclusive, but I'm not one of them. Because my spirit comes from my great great grandmother. We don't know how many greats there are, but she was really great. Um, and she was part dwarf. So I'm one of the smaller Kalashtar bards. So what are we Kalashtars? We're always exploring. We're always learning. We use our minds as our strongest weapons. Um, and then a little mischief comes out here and there because of my beloved dwarven blood. So I was raised by my great great times X grandmother who was a dwarf, but I lost my parents early in life, and my grandmother never told me what happened. Then, as an explorer and a learner, I decided to go into academia, but they rejected me. My ideas were too liberal, they were just too new age for them. So I spent years wandering with unsavory races like Drill and Durgar. And so, my rejection really sat with me, and I knew something was missing. So one day, one of my old colleagues, back when I was an academic, gave me a letter from my parents. And that letter told me that my parents were brutally murdered. And the last line on that letter said, "The truth lies in the great beyond." So that's why I'm here. I carry with me the spirits of my parents because as a Kalashtar, I am driven by the spirits in my dreams. So I'm watching, I'm learning, but I'm playing my flute on the side.
So much flute. So there you have all of our characters and just a little bit. We'll switch around. I should have put names up beneath everyone's picture, but I didn't have time today, and I'll get to it later, as all great projects go. But as they're happening, we will definitely switch over between the different pictures to help with that visualization of the characters. And for you D&D nerds, take a look at the stats, and as this campaign goes on, you can see how those characters grow. Now, everyone is starting at level 1 because they're inexperienced and haven't really seen the world because, well, we're making it up as we go along. And that's part of the fun. So you've been at sea for a couple of days. The weather has just been astounding, really. No storms. You've had a wonderful breeze at your back almost the entire time. Things seem to be going a little too well. Suddenly, you, from your various positions on the ship, you hear the captain roar, and he's a large, dark-skinned man, scars on his face, starting to bald. His name is Gore. He typically goes by Parlay, because there's not a situation he can't talk himself out of. It's actually once said that he was going directly into a hurricane, and he convinced it to go the other direction so he could still make his shipment on time. At least that's what the crew told you during your voyage. You don't know if it's true, but definitely the talker type. But suddenly he roars in his gruff voice, "All hands on deck! Every last one of you! Even that damn bird stowaway! Get up here!" And how do you react?
I look up. I look him in the eyes. Me?
Well, are you part of everyone?
Not usually.
Great. Grab that rope over there. Them damn gnomes are getting too close to us. Where's the rest? You no good. If I have to come down that deck, you're gonna be sorry.
I'm gonna very quietly clamber up, just in shocked silence. No one's ever seen me before, like when I'm actually hiding.
You good at climbing? Great. Up in the crow's nest. That's a good place for you. Make a noise. Can you go caca? Like, yeah, if you can do that, if the gnomes get any closer than they are now. Got it? Okay, great. Go. I know there's more of you.
I'm standing next to him holding the rope, trying to hand it to him.
No, you pull the rope. Go ahead and give me, if you attempt to pull it, an athletics check of trying to really pull that rope.
All right.
So he's going to roll a skill, and I have a difficulty set in mind for him to achieve his goal, which is, at this point, for all he knows, just trying to impress the captain. How did you do there, James?
I rolled a 5.
So you pull the rope, and you're not used to that kind of work. It's rough in your hands. The sea spray doesn't give the best grip, and as you start to pull on it, as soon as it gets taut, you can't pull anymore. That's it. That's all you can do. And the captain just looks at you and says, "Oh, come on, you could do better than that. Where's your friends?" Looks around the deck. Let's see. I think Ken is meditating somewhere. Tam, where are you physically on the ship at this point?
Well, I was at the bow or the stern, one of the corners, looking out into the sea, contemplating the meaning of life, but obviously under some shade.
Obviously. Purple thing, purple hair. You, yes, you. Come here and pull this rope with him. Okay, great.
Well, I slowly and reluctantly walk towards this strange person screaming at me. Yes, are you cold, sir?
Yeah, okay. Double time it. We're in danger. Okay, pull this rope along with this sorry excuse for a sailor. How'd you all get in this? Anyway.
I don't think so. This is a very sunny spot for me.
Okay, look, you got 2 choices. Choice number 1, you pull the damn rope. Choice number 2, you swim somewhere, and I don't give a shit where that is.
Oh, well, I don't want my hair wet, so I guess
Okay,
I'll be...
pull the rope then. Great. I know there's more stragglers here somewhere.
Right behind you, a large duck walks up in a dark green robe. What do you want?
Finally, someone listens. Help them pull this rope. Apparently, the 2 of them can't even get it around this mast. I'm tired of this. Do it now.
So Ken walks up in front of both of them, picks up the rope, and goes, "Move!"
All right, give me. You guys moving?
I move behind him to hide under the large shade that he's providing.
All right.
I just step back and I'm looking for people to not look at me so I can keep moving backwards.
Okay. Ken, go ahead and give me an athletics check.
6.
So just as much. It gets taut, and it just doesn't go anywhere else. The captain is starting to have a vein pop up in his head. What did I tell you? All 3 of you, pull the damn rope. You don't listen. You don't pull. Why are you here? Why are you on my damn ship? Now, 3 of you, pull the rope.
All right,
Go
on a
back to the
count
rope.
of 3, we all pull. 1, 2, 3.
All right, Ken, you're in the. How'd that roll look there, James?
Nat 20.
All right.
Critical success.
Huh. All right. So the 3 of you pull this rope.
Do I prematurely pull it?
You actually perfect coordination. You guys have the first inkling that maybe you guys are going to be a great team together. And the 3 of you pull this rope as hard as you can. And as soon as it gets to that point of, again, being taut, you can't pull it anymore, but you keep trying. And the 3 of you, with your combined strength, actually, you can hear subtle cracks as you're pulling it so tight. The outer bit of the mast itself is starting to crack. And the cat, whoa, stop. About that time, several members of the crew have kind of gotten around and looking at you, and they have a second of just sheer shock and awe, and definitely a look of just reverence almost that you guys did this. And then almost in unison, them and the captain burst out in just laughter. A couple of the members of the crew rolling on the ground. And you hear one of them, you sure made that bird climb up there. Just, you quickly get the sense that this was a twisted and sick type of maybe initiation. Now that you're on the boat and partially accepted, not as a full member of the crew, but you have proven your worth. I don't know if I'd quite call it hazing, but we're kind of getting in that territory for sure.
A little bit hazing.
You, sir, must be bored. I'm going to go back to my chamber.
Very
Lucy,
well.
Does anyone have any SPF
However,
60?
before you go, there is an expectation. You help out. Is that clear? If I call for you, you show up immediately. Just ain't have a problem with that.
No, sir.
If
As you wish.
If you are on the spooky spaghetti, you are helping out. I do not care. There are no excuses. Now, I believe there's a member that did not help out, and I will see to that. Before I go, do you have any questions about our journey or your accommodations acceptable on this ship?
No,
Are
sir.
we there yet?
You'll know.
Where's my starter kit? You know, SPF 50, umbrella. Every other ship has one.
A tourist, huh? Is that your situation?
I
Let me
mean,
tell you something.
It's called skincare, not tourism.
Who invited the bourgeoisie?
Oh, you'll
This-
get used to me, little duckman.
This is
Little.
not.
Mr. Captain, sir, I just want you to know I've been standing right behind you, waiting for you to give me something to do.
Oh. Well. How about you just don't throw up on the deck? That's the goal today for you. Just don't throw up on the deck.
I've gotten a lot better about it, you know.
You have made such good progress, and I'm proud of you. And honestly, watching them pull that rope every time, it gets funnier as it goes. Somebody tell that crow to get down. I'm done.
Hey, Crow, get down from there.
I'm gonna peek over the edge and kind of look down, and I'm just gonna say, "Nuts for sale!"
Did it say nuts for sale?
Wait, you've had nuts this entire time and you're just now telling us about...
How much do you think those nuts are?
I really don't know. I'm from a monastery, so money isn't exactly my strong suit.
Okay, you're dismissed for now. But when I call for you, and I will call for you for help, the expectation is you are up here immediately.
Yeah, for another practical joke. Got it.
Could you call us when the sun sets?
Well, if you'd like to be on the night shift on the spooky spaghetti, then you can be on the night shift on the spooky spaghetti.
Alright.
What are you good at?
Oh, a myriad of things. I play the pan flutes.
The pan flute? Why didn't you say so earlier? You are on the deck at night for entertainment.
Alrighty.
I expect you actually, pull it out now. Play us a little ditty.
Time
Well,
is
as you-
interested. She would like to say, "Stick 'em up."
Shall go ahead and give us a performance check.
Alright.
I'd like to sneak away a little bit.
Kind of get a... Okay.
I rolled a 10.
You play a passable, folksy melody of Captain. That's heard better, heard worse. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're better than the then no pan flute at all, I guess. So, yeah, you got the job.
Oh, thank
You
you,
happen
sir.
to know the song about the oasis behind the Wall of Wonders?
I think you'll have to teach me that one.
Well, I said, and I reply, maybe.
Alrighty, we'll get there. We'll get there.
You guys are not at an oasis, so it doesn't quite work.
I want to open my mouth and make the noises of like the harbor.
Okay.
I'm wondering when we're gonna get back home.
What? I don't understand what you're asking. Is that a question? What's does anyone speak this thing? The duck's gone.
Hold up. Let me try. Quack. Quack, quack. I got nothing.
Yeah. So, okay. If no one else has any questions, you're free to roam around the ship, but I would like to know how much for a bag of nuts?
I'm sorry.
Does
Then there's a sound of like coins in a bag clinking.
Okay. He, obviously flustered, just turns and heads towards his quarters, leaving you guys all to your own devices. Does anyone have any questions for the crew? Want to communicate with one another? Or should we just continue our journey?
Are there any other bird folk on the ship besides me and Ken?
No. This is mostly humans, a couple of dwarves.
My people.
And if you refer to them as your people, they look at you like you're crazy.
That's okay. Everyone does that.
Dwarves are typically very insular, and I don't want to quite say xenophobic, but definitely like want to be their own kind, and they know what their own kind is, and a dwarf is a dwarf to them. So having like dwarven lineage is uncommon for one, and isn't completely recognized in the way that it might be for other cultures.
All right. Can Ken see Karn?
Yeah, this is just kind of a throughout the day, like nothing happening at one point. So you can, I'm sure the ship isn't that large, could easily
You can
find.
catch him at the rail.
All right. So Ken goes up to Karn and kind of looks at him. So you're a priest?
Not necessarily. More of a monk.
Okay. Well, I'm a paladin. What's your order?
Oh, my order? The Order of Yntir. I had to give it a last name. I just used the monastery for my last name.
Fair. I'm the Order of the Pond. I think you and me might get along, just as long as you don't get in my way.
Well, I will try to stay out of your way. Just try not to be between me and the edge of the ship. Still getting my sea legs a little bit.
I'll leave you to it. But before I go, why are you here?
Well, this new continent. I'm what you might call an orphan. I've been raised in the monastery my entire life, was left on the doorstep, and basically I heard rumor that I might be able to find something about my parentage on this new continent. But yeah, that's about it.
You're a bastard. Got it. Well, good luck with that. Let me know if I can help. Let me know if
Is
you
it
need
okay
prayer.
Is it okay if Chime overhears that specific phrase?
So you're a bastard? Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah, go ahead. Give me a perception check. Yeah, Chime can do it. And this will be how you learn new phrases. Oh yeah. What'd you get?
I got a 19.
Oh, so you definitely heard that with your perceptive bird lack of ears. I guess birds really do have ears; they're just not visible. I learned that in Wingspan. Uh, so yeah,
Theraplay. Couples Theraplay.
couples
on Mondays.
therapy featuring Wingspan.
Mondays
Yeah,
at 7.
Fun Fortnite.
yeah, love some cross promotion. Great idea. Yeah, so go ahead and add that to Chime's repertoire of that. Anyone else have anything they would like to do on the ship as we progress?
Please
So
be kind.
I'm looking out to see if anybody's giving me any side eye. I know that tieflings are not well regarded, so I'm looking out to see if anyone gives me any side eye. So yeah.
Go ahead and give me a perception check as well.
Yeah. Got an 8.
All right. So with that, you're kind of making it obvious that you're looking for people looking at you. You're not quite staring at people, but you're not being subtle. You're definitely your head's on a pivot. You're looking around, and you're approached by a couple of the crew members. Oh, good call to stay hydrated. And while they approach you, and you got a problem with this?
No. Just looking out. I know the reputation my race has. Just I mean no. I don't mean to cause. I'm not here to cause any commotion, but I have been jumped more times than I can count. So just it's my nature.
Tell you what, mate, gives you a solid slap on the back. You passed the test. You're one of us. If somebody jumps you, they jump all of us. At this point, you took the joke, the captain's joke, as well as anyone else. That's all we ask. You work hard. That's how we're going to judge you.
I want to see if I believe him.
Sure.
So that is a
Insight.
insight.
And it's not a question of do you believe him? Because,
Well, do I think he's telling the truth?
sure,
Sorry. That's more what I. Yes, thank you for that. I rolled a 14.
14. In your experience with people, and it likely hasn't been too much, but this does seem to be one of the few instances where they're honestly being genuine. You can't think of a reason that he would have an ulterior motive or a reason to say that. You've been in enough experiences where even if it was beneficial for someone to help you and it would help them just to be nice to you, and they choose not to because of who you are. This crew doesn't seem to be that way. They seem to generally they like each other, they get along. They're loose enough on this incredibly dangerous voyage to be playing pranks on you guys, even light pranks. But nothing that you've experienced before would make you believe that he's lying to you. Now, whether or not you choose to think he's lying is up to you.
Thank you, friend. I will try to look less anxious.
You know what helps with that, don't you? I think in a couple days, Captain's gonna open the first barrel of grog. Make sure you get there early, because when you get there late, they just keep watering it down. That'll help take the edge off, my friend.
Thanks for the tip.
Okay. Anyone else?
I would like to. Chime is gonna wander around to several of the crew members, and she's going to start off by saying, "Please," and then the sounds of the harbor again. She wants to know, when is she gonna go home?
Let's see what the crew interprets that as. It takes a couple of tries. Typically, the crew members are distracted doing the everyday operations and keeping the ship going the direction it's supposed to go in. But at one point, there's a crew member who's just swabbing the deck mindlessly, and you approach him and say please and make the sound of the harbor. And he just looks at you with definite pity in his eyes and shakes his head and says, "No, we're not going back. We're not going to any harbor. We're going over the edge of the world," and has his hand like this, and that's us.
Chime's gonna get really upset. She's gonna make the sound of like a human baby crying. Like, 'cause she's got like a kid at home, and that's the only way she can think of to relate to this human.
He looks at you and just, I'm sorry. I've heard maybe there's a wizard on board who he keeps hidden the whole time, but he doesn't stay with us. Maybe he'll take you back with him. Maybe, but that's up to him, and I can't tell you, but maybe ask him. Yeah.
Thank you.
He nods and goes back to swabbing the deck. A little slower this time. He definitely has some sympathy for you and feels for you. All right. So how about we? The captain's gonna open up this bit of grog for your evening meal tonight. Says he has an announcement for you.
I'm going to be as early in line as possible. I'm looking for my buddy.
Your buddy's first in line. You are second. He has definitely, he knows the tips and tricks to getting the good grog, as it were. They tap this cask. There's a probably the finest meal you've had in a while of salted pork, some type of bean concoction, which is the option if you're vegetarian. Hardtack, which the idea is you soak that in the bean concoction to make it a little less soft. But I mean, that's your best meal. There's also a couple of fresh fish that they were able to catch while at sea, and this is definitely the evening for busting those bad boys out, along with this fine cask of grog, which the further back in line you are, the less fine it becomes.
Well, it's a good thing I'm in the solid middle.
Chime's going for that fish.
All right.
She wants to. She's gonna whore one down like all the way. You know, like how birds do.
Right.
Yes.
Looking.
So as I pass Karn, he's still in line, and I say, "Are you sure you want to be drinking this with that stomach?"
Well, the way I look at it, it can't make things any worse, so I figure why not?
I'll take that bet. And I just
Oh,
walk
for
away.
betting going on? Count me in. What's the bet?
It was a friendly bet. I didn't actually. You're a very serious person.
Are you going to waste everybody's time every day?
It sounds like you have a problem with me.
Oh, you're right. You're absolutely right about that, son.
The horns.
It's best we don't talk.
Look, I mean no commotion. I was not. I was born to two humans. It was as a surprise to me as it was to you. I really am not looking for any ill will, any commotion. I understand you. I am not going to change your mind. I have tried too many times in the past. But perhaps some civility?
Just keep your sinful gambling ways to yourself, and there'll be plenty of civility to go around. Is that clear?
No actual gambling going on. Yes.
Kenduckian turns around, walks off.
Waddles.
Waddles off.
Waddles.
Thank you. Taking his romp.
So as the mess hall is kind of set up with most of the sailors finding places to eat, the tables just are a waste of space, really. And this is a multi-purpose room. It's your mess hall, and it's also where you sleep, and just a general hold room. They've actually had it packed with extra cargo, extra food, extra rations, extra barrels of water, maybe some extra grog. It's a dangerous trip. And the captain at the fore of the mess hall starts to stomp and knock, kind of in a rhythm of. And as the crew notices, they start to do the same thing to get the attention of. So the entire ship begins to do this, which at that point, thanks Ray. I guess Ray heard that. The captain has the crew's full attention, and assuming having yours. As I have news. We expect tomorrow to go over the edge. And the crew, mixture definitely of excitement and trepidation, almost dread even. This is the point of the voyage where it gets dangerous. Everything else is fine. Ray would be a great member of this crew. She would definitely be vocal and have her demands met. I'd like to introduce you to the great wizard who will get us down the edge. Please do not disturb him. Just so you're aware that you're in good shape. At this point, your stereotypical wizard, wearing a gray robe, a gray pointed hat, a large beard, mixture of gray and white, but dark skin. While the body itself looks frail, there is something in his eyes, a bright blue of intelligence and insight that you just don't typically see in a person. So while the body may have become frail, the mind itself is perhaps even more powerful and active than it ever has been. His name is Tape. Crew is quiet.
Tape.
And the captain, Gore, looks to Tape. He says, "Thank you. That is all." Tape, if you don't mind, excuse me, makes his way over with a little pewter mug over to the barrel containing your grog, and pours himself a bit, and takes a drink, and fills his cup up once again, tips his hat to all of you. You all have a good evening. Have a good evening. Cheers. And makes his leave.
I run after him.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Oh, yes. Can I help? Can I help you both? Two beautiful women.
I was an academic once, and you're just so famous in our circles. And can I be your friend? I really, that would just make my life. And I even wrote a song for you on my pan flute in the hopes that one day I would ever get to meet you.
Oh, I would love to hear this. Please.
Hey, oh my goodness. I feel my hair in disarray, but I go grab my pan flute and this just represents all your intelligence and your energy. Please be my friend. Can we be friends?
Oh, my dear. And he pats you on the shoulder, gently and grandfatherly. Um, I will be your friend. But you must realize we'll never see each other again. And he takes a drink and pats you on the shoulder again and says, "Best of luck, my dear. And you, fair bird. A kenku. A kenku, is that correct? Well, yes, my dear. What can I do for you?"
She's gonna do what she's been doing with all the other crewmates. She's gonna say, "Please," and then the sounds of the harbor.
Oh, you wish to go home?
And then she's gonna make the baby sounds.
Oh, you have a family.
Help me.
I will consider your request. I only have the materials for one teleportation spell. Yes, let me consider it. Yes.
Thank you.
But I thought you were my friend.
Do you want to return to civilization and your old life?
No, I just don't want you to leave.
Oh, well. You see, I am needed for every trip, or at least someone like me. It takes a powerful wizard to do what we must do. I am great. I really am great. Yes, thank you for the reminder. And he finishes off his mug. Yes. Now I must go back to my studies. If there's nothing else, fair ladies.
I would like to roll a persuasion check
Okay, what do you want to persuade him?
to stay here.
Okay, go ahead and roll a persuade.
That works.
Wow.
There you go. Oh. So tell me, how are you? What are you going to say exactly to try to get him to stay?
You are the greatest, the greatest, like my great grandmother, and our voyage would only be better with you on it. Don't leave me. Be my friend. Stay with us, please. Oh, please.
Oh, my dear, I cannot refute your perfect, impeccable logic that indeed your voyage and every voyage would be so much better if I were part of it. But you must consider this. If I am part of your voyage, I am part of only your voyage from here on out. However, if I return as part of my plan, I will be part of many voyages. Perhaps I will be the greatest wizard voyager of all time. And would you take that from the world? Does your selfish know no bounds? No, my dear. For I can see into your heart, and your heart is true. You would not take the gift of me from the entire world. Now, you are sweet and gentle, and I appreciate, and obviously, you are among the most intelligent, most insightful people to have ever graced this beautiful world. So, you must continue on without me.
Yeah, Chime walked away like halfway through that.
That's fair.
So Tam blushes a bright pink to match her purple hair and bows and scurries away to hide from the sun.
All right. So our three other characters, Karn, James, and Ken, while this was happening and the wizard has left the room, the captain and the crew are still in the mess hall. Many members of the crew are trying to convince the captain to open a second cask of grog for the evening. The captain seems a little reluctant, but what are you guys doing during this time?
Ken stands back and he's just observing and thinking. He's kind of brooding over the entire mess hall in front of an empty plate. He's done eating and he's not quite sure. So he's just kind of taking it all in.
Karn, about you?
Well, I think I'm just watching to see how successful this crew is pleased to get a second barrel of Grogro. Because if it's going to be there, he'll partake, but he's not exactly going to influence it.
Gotcha. Let's just see how this crew is doing. They're making progress. The captain seems very resolute and like he's unyielding right now in opening that second cask. In his mind he knows, but in his heart he wants to make his crew happy. Yes, James.
Feeling the effects of the grog that was stronger than I anticipated it being, I'm gonna open up my shell a little bit. Not literal shell. My tieflings don't have shells. I'm not a turtle. I'm gonna walk up to the captain's table and, sir, this is a pretty fine ship. Tell me, why this spooky spaghetti?
Gets a big grin on his face. Tell me, tiefling, are you familiar with ports and traditions?
Not as so much. I come from inland.
So we Portans are superstitious and people of the sea. We believe whatever you name a ship, that is a puppy. That is how that ship will meet its end. My mum, God rest her soul, used to make a dish for me. Spooky spaghetti. She'd hand make these thin, delicious noodles and use octopus ink to make them black as the soul of a tavern wench. It was a fine dish from a fine woman. We believe that name, that's how your ship will be destroyed. So why not name it something innocuous that can't possibly cause harm? Now, me old captain, Captain Bart, he named his ship 101 Wenches. We tore that ship apart, but I've never had so much fun in my life. Those were the days. But I figure, spooky spaghetti.
So
Safe.
I would like to raise my grog glass and say a toast to death by spooky spaghetti.
To spooky spaghetti.
Spooky spaghetti.
Oh, I'm out.
It's bad luck to toast on an empty glass. You're a smart one. Open the next barrel. With that, a great cheer erupts with the crew. They bring out another barrel of grog. You guys have a great night drinking with the crew. Does anyone else have anything they want to do before they attempt to pass out from drinking a second barrel of grog with a crew of like 30 people?
So I would like to go up to Karn and repeat Ken's words from earlier. So you're a bastard.
Orphan. Very distinct difference.
No, Ken called you a bastard.
Orphan. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
All right, I'll go with Ken. Yes.
After drinking a few glasses of grog, Ken walks up to the captain and says,
Hey, Gore. You know the only thing this night's missing?
What's that, Duck?
An old school wrestling match.
she throws his robes back, saying,
I'll take any of you right now. Let's go to the top of the deck.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, a few of the crew were down to
Oh.
rumble.
Without a doubt.
Are you not
Once
entertained?
more, I have to see this.
All right. All right. He knocks again. I'm not gonna do it again because I don't want Ray to get all hyped for KFD&D because you know she would.
Who's Ray?
Oh, that's our dog.
Okay.
She's cute. Put a little there in the chat. All right. All right. Listen up, crew. Tenazals. Whoever pins this duck. Any takers? Several crew members, of course, after having a few glasses of grog. Definitely excited. All right.
Chime is interested in making some coin.
Like where this is going.
Make the coin purse sound again.
Yes,
Need to get your little soundboard.
I do.
All right. Here's the rules for ship wrestling. No punching. No kicking. No biting. No interference. If you're pinned, that's it. You good with that, duck?
I'd prefer the bounds of the wrestling ring be well defined. If we could lay a rope in a circle, and whoever pushes the first the other person out of it. How does that sound?
We can do that. Let me make a quick map.
All right, which one of you skinny pricks is up first? Captain?
Just not. For I'm too noble. I just gamble.
Fair
But
enough.
a stout dwarven sailor, the long black beard, his sides of his head shaved, and having a curly-headed mohawk at the top, large scar over his right eye, dark green eyes. His skin is brown and leathery and just wind-worn from countless years of sailing and exposure to the sun. It looks at you, gives you a big grin. He's missing probably a quarter of his teeth. Doesn't seem to care. The ones he has left aren't looking too great. Takes a swig of grog, swishes it in his mouth, takes a big gulp, looks you up and down. Too bad the captain said no biting. Haven't had a duck leg in weeks.
I'm going to enjoy this, Gully Dwarf. Too bad your parents didn't love you.
Seem to cut a little deep. A little tear starts to trickle. Dwarf's eye. Aye. Yeah, you're right. But yours
All
sure
right.
loved me.
Let's get this over with.
Oh, shit.
And Ken stands kind of akimbo at first and throws out his left foot and then his right foot, hands to his waist, looks at the captain.
You going to call this or what?
Aye. Sorry, I'm getting moving stuff around, doing the behind the scenes stuff that doesn't show up. All right, we got a future name for whenever. I hope I haven't missed those. If you guys do see them out in the chat, let me know. And Tim, if you have a preference for when this name is used, you let me know. Otherwise, the next time we have to name an NPC, place, or something, we'll go with it. All right. So at this point, we're not going to share our maps with the viewing audience, so we'll just describe it as it happens. We have the deck of the ship. And it's, again, a relatively peaceful night, a nice full moon, relatively cloudless. The lighting is actually exceptionally great. There's not even very many lanterns on the deck of the ship going right now. There's the required ones, and just to make sure the no miss ship, off to the side can still see you, and you can see the lights from it. It's typical distance of a couple 100 feet away from you, just kind of doing its own gnome thing. The dwarf gets in the center of a crudely drawn chalk circle on the surface of the ship, right in the center, not near the edge to make sure that no one goes overboard. The railing, in some points, looks to be a little beaten and bruised, but still relatively good. So the rest of the party, are you all going up to the surface, the deck of the ship?
Oh, I am.
Oh, yes. I need to see this.
Definitely.
All right. The crew seems really excited. They have loved their pan flute entertainment. Don't get me wrong. That pan flute has been a welcome just distraction from their boring everyday jobs. But some good old-fashioned duck on dwarf wrestling, you don't have to pay extra for that at even if that tavern offers it. So this is just a special treat. All right. So Ken, let's go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh god.
So for those of you that have not played D&D before, initiative is the order in which people take their turn. The bandit is, or excuse me, pirate / sailor guy / I needed a marker to do this, is going at turn 20. And Ken, what'd you get?
5.
All right. So in that instance, the bandit goes. I keep calling him a bandit. I need to call him something else. He is sailor guy.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? We'll go Frenzia. That is this dwarf sailor's name. Frenzia is going up first, and he is going to use all of his might and dwarven strength to just push you, to bull rush you as quick as possible. So he is going to just no form, no nothing, just using brute strength. And Ken, how do you want to deal with this?
Throw him.
Like a little judo?
Yeah.
Okay, just give me a dexterity ability check. So he gets real low, and you see it coming because he's a dwarf, and he obviously can't go high on you. Basically goes right for your legs and wraps you up pretty strong. And you're not quite grappled by him, but he is able to push you back about 5 feet. So the total ring has about a 15-foot radius. So you're another 15 feet, and you'll solidly be out. But you have about 10-ish feet before you get to the edge. My drawing is terrible. So
Finally, a challenge. I'd like to reach down and sort of grab him in a headlock and half-mint Nelson.
Oh, James does not see the drawing. Oh, let me one second here. Let me...
Roll 20 in layers. Yeah.
Yeah, so many layers.
All the layers.
Oh, I bet I did that in the GM layer.
You don't need to see it, guys. Just visualize it.
Well, good. I like to give him visualization. Now it's even worse. Cool.
It's beautiful, Donald.
That's why someone else does the art for this game.
I can see it already. And it might be me staring into my ring light too much and just seeing the after image, but
That would have been
The
smart.
sailors that drew it were clearly drunk. So.
Oh, yeah. Just show off how you can actually just make a circle like normal.
A perfect circle. I'll do that later.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right.
Athletics check or strength check?
You're going to try to go ahead and grapple him? Is that
Yeah.
your goal? Yeah. Go ahead and give me athletics.
Okay. 13.
Oops. Let's see how he does. So with him being so low, his head is in prime position, and you get your whole arm slash wing appendage that you have, which is an arm, but ducks have wings, and it's funny, around it, and you can already feel the sweat on his head, and his just absolutely disgusting, knotted, matted dwarf hair is kind of rubbing up against your arm, and it immediately feels itchy just from that contact of it. But you do have him currently in a headlock, so he is going to you have him grappled for now, but that is your move. Do you want to try to move at all, or are you gonna
Yeah, I'm gonna try to inch backwards closer to the edge of the ring.
Okay, so you can move him with him like carried about half your speed, so you can get yourself to like the edge of the ring if you want to, another 10 feet back.
Sure.
Or you can move him in his direction or back.
No, backwards. So I've got this dwarf in a headlock,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm looking at the crowd. They're all screaming, cheering, and I'm slowly kind of dragging him as he's wiggling in my grasp, trying to kick me from underneath, but hitting nothing but a plume of feathers as I slowly waddle backwards to the edge of the ring. And I kind of look over my shoulder, trying to see anybody I recognize. Do I see anyone?
You see your various members of your what you assume to be your adventuring party that are not members of the crew. They're all kind of looking. Guys, who are you cheering for in this situation?
I'm just watching. I'm waiting for him to get tired.
I'm cheering for Ken because, let's face it, I haven't seen a spectacle like this. It's a dwarf against a duck. You don't see that in the monastery every day.
So Ken says, "Hey, Karn, watch this." And he flips backwards, throwing the dwarf into the air.
So you gotta wait. That you've already had your action with the grapple, so that would be your
Right,
next
that's
turn.
what I'm gonna do next turn.
Oh, hey, watch this. All right, right at the edge. Playing a dangerous
Ooh.
game with this bandit who has you. The bandit. Frenzia realizes what's about to happen, and desperately tries to just wriggle his way out of your grasp. Go ahead and just give me a strength ability check.
11.
All right. So as you trying to grab him, and he just like wiggles his way out with him being a little bit shorter than you, and just gets his way out, and takes a step back, says, "It won't be that easy there, ducky." All right. And Ken, you're up next. He's backed up about 5 feet from you, so you guys are no longer touching. You are on the edge of this chalk circle. The back of your foot slash webbed, whatever duck have, webbed appendage, is just brushed against the chalk, and you know you're right on the edge.
Duck dive right into him.
All right. Let's see. Go ahead and just make an unarmed attack roll. You just trying to like land on top of him?
Yeah, just kind of smash him.
Yeah, rush up and go ahead and just unarmed attack.
Don't see unarmed attack in skills. Where is it at?
It's going to be on your character sheet, if it's even there.
I know mine doesn't.
It
There
might
might
not be there if he has a weapon.
Yeah, it's going to be
Yeah.
different because you... Go ahead and just roll with one of your weapons. You're probably proficient in unarmed.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll
You
just
gotta
make
be
it up to 12
freaking
long.
kidding me. Natural 1. I got a 6.
All right. So you stare at him. In your mind, this is going to be the most badass bit of wrestling in the history of this ship, in the history of the Spooky Spaghetti. The crowd is primed. They're ready. They're excited. They see it in your eyes. The moment has come. You start to charge forward, and your foot gets caught in an uneven plank as you trip and fall right at the base of this dwarf.
Quack! Slams on the ground.
He just looks. You're making it too easy, quackers, and just jumps down on top of you, in an effort to just pin you, once and for all. Just do. And as he starts to plop down in a very dramatic fashion, and you see it coming from a mile away, and you're able to just roll out of the way at the last second. This dwarf now laying prone on the ground right next to you. Good call. Nothing like talking a lot that makes you drink a ton of water. And this dwarf, already looking exhausted, like he was convinced that was going to end the fight here and there, looks over to you, sighs, kind of shakes his head. Is that the best you got, Ducky? All right, Ken, you're up.
You take Ken's size really hard while getting onto his knees, and then he just pile drives the dwarf from the side while screaming, quacking at the top of his lungs. Quack! He just runs right into him.
Well, you're both prone on the ground. Like, neither one of you are standing.
Yeah. Thrown onto the ground, slamming into him again.
Gotcha. Okay. Go ahead and make another attack roll.
You gotta be freaking kidding me.
What'd you get?
Another 8.
Oh. This time you going for your big hit, and he, even though he's laying on his stomach, can sense it coming and just shifts just the slightest bit. So you just brush up against him, almost lovingly, gently, that sweet caress as you're both laying there on the deck, surrounded by a chalk circle and just 30 to 40 of your closest friends as they cheer for you to destroy each other. Just misses and doesn't seem to do any damage to him. This point, Frenzia takes his time, stands up, grabs you by the feathers, the top of the head, and tries to pull you up so that you're both standing. Are you going to resist him or kind of accept the subtle assistance so you're both not laying on the deck?
I accept the subtle resistance because I don't want him to pull any feathers out.
He's surprisingly gentle and seems to take his captain's orders of like not doing harm to each other pretty serious, and doesn't pull any feathers out. Just grabs a good bit of your head and pulls you up as much as you can. You're able to do the rest. He says, "Let's make sure this is fair." Bird person. Clearly the length of the fight has surprised him, along with the bit of grog has definitely dulled his wit for the evening. And that is the end of his turn with both actions.
Fair enough. I'll give you a chance to block this one.
Ken spreads his legs from side to side and then rushes again, attempting to push the dwarf out of the circle.
Okay. You'll push him like this direction since he is facing that way. But are you going to try to push him like here to the south?
Yeah, look at the map. Pushing him backwards. So...
Okay. So backwards would put him. You guys are at the southern end of this circle.
Okay, I see it.
There's still like 15 or so feet because you guys are closer to the edge that you're sort of defending, for lack of a better term, currently.
Try to a bear hug and then toss him to the right, so at the southern part of the circle.
Gotcha. Go ahead and let's go with athletics, since we are just doing a traditional wrestling match.
All right. Well, this looks like probably the 5th 8 in a row that I've had. I don't know why.
That's
This
just
can only mean good rolls for the future.
yeah. You guys should totally save it for the boss fight, so it's fine.
Boss.
Yeah, the boss. You know, the guy that signs our paychecks.
Gotta have a big bad.
Yeah, gotta be a big bad. You get both arms around him, and this time he seems to almost you telegraph it, and he puts both his arms up, and out to the side, and you can't get the grip around him. And with that, he kind of starts to see what your tactics are, and with your arms out wide, he just shoves you with all of his might once again. Go ahead, and if you want to just stand there, or do you want to try to dodge it?
I'll stand there, take it.
All right, go ahead and just give me a strength ability check.
Looks like a 20.
All right. He has you in just a really bad situation right now. Your arms are out wide. Your legs aren't in a position to defend yourself. And with all of his might, he pushes you forward. And you stand there like a statue, like a boulder. Don't move an inch. And he starts to get visibly frustrated as he really thought he had you there. And you apparently just a much stronger opponent than he was looking at taking down. Well, that is the end of his turn. So, Ken, what do you want to do this time?
Was his web feet like suctioned to the deck?
I get that sensation. So things clearly aren't going Ken's way, so he kind of circles while staring directly at the opponent. He kind of goes to the north end so that the opponent twists and is like turning to look at him. And this time he kind of does a twisting motion where his left hand kind of goes for the right side of the opponent, right hand to the left, and dives straight at his belly with the intention of flipping his feet into the air at the same time.
Okay. That is really complicated. So I think that is more of an acrobatic type move. So go ahead and give me an acrobatics check.
11.
Hey, not an 8. You are making progress.
Hey.
You definitely start to get him, and you can feel his heels lift off the ground. But the Ferenzi looks confused, and like almost a light bulb goes off in his head, realizes what you're doing, and then just kind of pulls his weight back to where now you're both almost like holding hands or holding each other in some awkward grasp. But he doesn't move there at all. And he feels like he has you in a good position. So he's going to try just to go ahead and suplex you over his head and see what happens with that. So do you want to just resist him by standing strong and not cooperating, or do you want to try to dodge out of the way?
I'm going to resist him, maybe by, just try to resist in any way I can.
Right. Give me just a strength ability check. All right.
5.
He lifts you up. What'd you get?
I got a 5.
Oh, man. All right. You feel your webbed feet leave the comforting surface of the deck as this dwarf finally picks you up, and you feel that you're up 4 feet off the ground. This dwarf isn't very tall. And then suddenly that deck comes closer to you and faster, and it hurts. It does a little damage to you. You take 3 damage from just hitting the deck on that from that suplex on the dwarf, and you're right at the edge. Both of you once again prone on the ground. The dwarf lets out a sigh.
I think the whole crowd winces and ooh.
And the captain starts to kind of flinches and looks like maybe should I interfere? It's entertaining though, and doesn't say anything as of yet. But Ken, it's your turn. You're prone on the ground next to this dwarf, who is also prone next to you.
I look on the ground. Am I still inside the circle?
You are. You are just barely. Your feet are once again like you can feel the chalk that they've drawn on this circle with the very tip of your toe right now.
Okay, so this time I grab his ankles and try to lift him upside down.
All right. So you stand and try to pick him up by the ankle. Go ahead and give me another strength ability check.
Another 5.
So the bandit is kicking at you, and you actually have a really good grip on his ankles for now, but you don't have that extra bit of strength to also fight him off. But you have him grappled, and he is standing Or he's not standing. He's laying on the ground, but you don't have him lifted above you as he's kicking back and forth with him being prone. So with that, and seeing the situation he's in, he's going to try to just kick you with all of his might and try to push you out of that last bit of the ring. Go ahead, and if you want to dodge it, give me a dexterity. If you want to try to just take it and not get out, a strength.
We'll do strength again. 10.
All right. His kick doesn't have anything behind it. He's obviously tired. He's really just running on fumes, and the grog is catching up to him. The sweat's just dripping down. His mohawk is starting to like become party on the side, and just it's kind of embarrassing for him. But you're up now.
To catch the leg while he's kicking.
All right. Yeah, well,
All right, I try to catch that leg mid.
You still have his feet grappled from before. He wasn't even trying to do that. He was just trying to push you. So you have both of his ankles grabbed.
Okay, one last Herculanean attempt to twist and toss him out of the ring.
All right. Go ahead and give me a strength check.
Nat 20.
All right. And with a power that hasn't been seen since the rope incident, you have the dwarf by the legs and just fling him out of the ring. Lands a good 10 feet outside of it, not even close. The crew is silent for a second, fearing for their brethren, and he shakes his head and gets up, nods. The entire crew erupts in cheers, swarming the circle and patting you on the back for a fine entertainment for the evening.
Gore, you got a mighty fine sailor there.
Well, that got a little more violent than I was expecting, so sorry,
I'm gonna
everyone.
step in.
You're going to step in?
Is that the best you can do? I would like to step into the ring.
All right. Chime makes her way into the ring.
I make it my point not to fight women. Can somebody tell this crow this ain't happening tonight?
Nuts for sale.
So Ken walks away and puts on his robe and then just proceeds to leave.
Not interested.
I'm gonna make the baby noise again.
All right, Ken stops, looks around, looks forward, continues leaving.
You hear one of the crew members say, "Man, I really thought that was a duck and not a chicken."
All right.
Now I'm gonna make a
And
clucking
throws-
noise.
Ken throws his robe off, comes storming back to the circle. All right, bring it on.
I can hear the web feet slapping on the deck.
So are we doing initiative or?
Yeah,
do
you
this.
guys go ahead and let me clear this out. I was trying to make a better circle because I don't know how I did this.
Hold Alt before clicking to make your shape.
I just had them on like every different every layer. Like I literally had a different circle on every layer.
Layers on layers on layers.
Well, now I'm just drawing lines. Oh, there's draw shape.
So draw shape. Hold Alt before clicking.
I used to know what I was doing, and then we didn't play D&D for like 7 months.
Yeah, I know.
Can't blame the pandemic.
Okay, well I got a circle, so that we're just moving the UL. All right. Lovely circle set up. And go ahead, and there's Chime's initiative. And Ken, since this is a new combat for you, go ahead and give me initiative once again.
8.
And Chime, what are you at?
I rolled a 13.
All right, so Chime is up first as we have our second match of the Inter-Party Wrestling Federation.
So, Chime would like to kind of dive for one of Ken's feet. She's shorter. She's like 4 foot, like 10-ish. So she knows she's not going to out-brute Ken. So she's going for the legs.
All right.
She's going to try and like pull one of the legs, or at least grab onto it.
Is your goal to knock him to the ground, or just to like clutch on? Okay. Go ahead and just give me a, like, trying to be kind of deceitful about it and like quick. Go and give me a dexterity check. And Ken, if you're gonna just try to just stand there and take it, go ahead and give me a strength check.
Oh, I just do the same.
That's okay. It has your roll on there, so we can just.
Okay.
Well, a 7.
And Chime, what'd you get?
I got a 19.
All right, so she is
Yeah.
deceptively fast, and she just dives in for your leg, and you both fall to the ground prone.
What the crack?
And Ken, how do you react to this?
Well, she's got one of my legs, so I use the other to kind of grapple around where I think her neck should be and start squeezing with all my might of my mighty pelvis.
All right, go ahead and give me another strength check. And Chime, how do you want to kind of react to that?
I want to pinch his leg, like really hard.
Well, that would be like your next action.
Okay, so
like, how do you want to avoid him having him choking you? Do you?
in that case, I think I would kind of try to. Okay, this is like how I would do this if I was actually being choked. Is like you kind of like protect your neck with your own chin, but Charm's gonna do that with her beak.
Okay.
You know, she's been in plenty of scuffles.
Ken, go ahead and give me your roll first, and we'll see how that looks. All right.
19.
It's definitely gonna like kind of penetrate your armor if he gets it in there before you're able to do it. So you're starting to be choked, but that is his action, and you guys are both prone, and at this point he won't be able to stand up. So you're gonna attempt just to pinch his leg.
I'm gonna pinch his leg as hard as I can. I have these like claws.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna.
The
pinch
chickens have large talons.
like as hard as I can. I'm a red-winged blackbird. Thank you very much. And I have talons, and I'm gonna pinch.
So one of the joys of playing D&D, as you guys in the chat can see, is you can literally do anything you want. And whenever I was preparing this adventure, the first thing that came to my mind was, I bet these sons of bitches are going to try to wrestle each other on the ship before really anything else happens. So I definitely looked up rules for that ahead of time. So what you're seeing, as Tim joked, but that we're winging it, like that is most of what D&D is.
Winging it.
Winging it. There are rules and there's guidelines, but in this kind of situation, it's not really covered for what do you do when the two birds of your party decide they want to fight each other on a ship in a wrestling match. So yeah, this is a lot of fun, and you guys are definitely testing my DM skills. So I appreciate that. This has been much different very different than I thought this first session would go. Anyway, so I think for you to pinch him, go ahead, and I'm gonna say you're trying to like find a nerve to really, because it's not gonna do any damage, but just to make him involuntarily move his leg. So go ahead and just give me a dexterity ability check to see if you can finagle your way into a crevice and have him just get off you, not choke you. How's that?
I rolled a 17.
Okay. Now, Ken, give me a Constitution saving throw. How good is your fortitude and ability to withstand just random pain?
I rolled the 12.
All right. And with that, she seems to get right into one of your special duck spots, and for whatever reason, pleasure, pain, however you want to look at it, it's too much, and you can't keep your leg down on her or any part of your body choking her at that moment. You're both laying there. Ken, you're probably pretty exhausted after the battle with the dwarf, but it's your turn, and how do you want to react to this?
So I release her due to all the pain and try to scramble up onto 2 feet again with my back to, kind of twisting so that I'm always facing her, hands before me, bent at the knees, sweating profusely and breathing really hard. It's like, you don't play fair, do you?
I'm going to repeat what I said before. Is that the best you can do?
And so at that, Ken bends his knees and jumps as high as he can into the air while flapping, getting a few feet, and then dive bombing her at the edge of the circle.
All right. Go ahead and with the intent of pushing her back or doing damage, or what's your intent?
Push her back.
Okay. Go ahead and give me athletics, since you're presumably trained in some wrestling abilities and such as a paladin, trying to just push.
And as he's going down, he yells, "Quack!" Natural 1.
Yes!
Oh.
Crit fail.
You jump, flap your wings, let out a ferocious, almost ear-shattering quack that gets the attention of every member of the crew and everyone watching this. And as you begin to push yourself forward and use your arm/wing appendages to give yourself that push forward, once again, right on the deck, face planting. So you and Chime, once again, both laying on the deck, and making no real progress towards pushing one another out of this ring. Chime, what you got?
Okay.
I'm too old for this shit.
Which way is he facing? Is his head towards me, or are his legs
His
towards
head
me?
is towards you. He's face down. You, at this point, I would think are, your head is, his head is near your feet. Your head is at the northern end of the ring, not at the end, because you still got like 10-ish feet before you get there. You're on your back. He is on his stomach.
Okay. So I want to try and move around to get to his feet, and I want to try and start dragging him.
Okay, are you gonna crawl? Or are you gonna like stand up and walk that way?
I would like to stand up first.
Okay. All right, so you stand up and kind of move around him to his feet, and go ahead and make a athletics check in the effort to like grapple him. And Ken, go ahead and make a athletics check trying to avoid this.
Oh,
Hey, 21.
I got a nat 20.
Oh my god.
This
Well, my
sneeze is
21
just...
technically beats your nat 20, doesn't
It does. So in 5th edition D&D, a nat 20 is just whatever you roll with your modifiers. So you don't have any modifiers, so you really just got a 20. In other editions, a nat 20 is, people say it's automatic success, but it's really not. Like, there are certain situations that you're never going to have automatic success. So to you have done like all of your training and all your street fights and all your scrappiness has really come up to you, and you reach your hands down to grab him, and he just starts kicking, and you just can't get a hold of his feet, and you realize you're not in the best situation as you're not super close, but not super far from the edge of the ring. And Ken is laying on his back, his feet up, probably a little pissed about what's happening. And that kicking in defense, he's able to roll over and get onto his back to defend himself a little better. But Ken, what do you want to do?
Ken, after he fends off the Kenku, he pulls his knees towards his stomach and then kicks out in that fashion that ninjas do to kind of stand up again.
All right.
And he's standing there, kind of bent at the knees, and looks at Kenku and says, "Is that the best you can do?" And then charges her again, trying to push her out of the ring.
All right. Go ahead and give me athletics. And Chime, are you just going to try to kind of fight him off, or how do you want to avoid
Chime
this?
is going to dodge.
Okay, go ahead and roll acrobatics then.
Okay. What?
Oh. What'd you guys get?
15.
I rolled a 4, which is a nat 1.
Crit 1.
All right. And with that, he's able to really get you, and you think you can dodge, kind of be trying to be cool and dodge the last second, but he's quicker than he looks. He's athletic and is able to push you back just where both feet barely make it out of the chalk, and you're out of the ring. Ken, once again, victorious as the sailors, at this point, not quite as impressed by the victory, and it's more of the...
All right, I'm going to bed.
I start playing Wind Beneath My Wings on my pants.
Oh, that's perfect. Cheryl, for that, and I should give this out more liberally, you now have inspiration. So on your character sheet, because that was perfect, there's a little section.
Okay.
Yep. So at any point before you roll, you can tell me you're using inspiration, and you get advantage on that roll. So you roll 2 d20s, and you take the higher of the two.
Yeah, which is what a roll 20 does on by default.
It does, but just so we're explaining it to the chat as well. Mm-hmm. All right. With that and Ken going to bed, does anyone else have any big plans for the day, for the rest of the evening?
I want to get another glass of grog.
All right. Even that barrel is starting to get a little empty, but there's enough there for you. And it's getting kind of watered down at this point as they've tried to extend it as long as possible. But hey, watered down grog's not the worst. All right. You all sleep super well after such an eventful day. The crew loves having you guys around. Early the next morning, a little too early for some of you, because the headache from the grog is not the best experience you've had before. The captain is, all hands, I don't care if you're hungover, get your asses up here.
We make our way to the top. Ken goes to the top of the deck. He's kind of sore and he's limping a little bit.
Arn makes his way up to the deck.
Rest of you guys?
I'm there. Yeah.
Chime's coming up.
Slugging along.
All right. He points out what you believe is to the west, and you can see just on the horizon, at first glance, probably land. But it's very misty. Oh, kitty cat.
Yay!
Kitty butt. But it has even from this distance, you can see just a sense of mist. Everyone, or over there, yeah, they're all a little groggy.
Ooh.
I liked it.
But
Good job, Boozhammer.
Nice.
That, you land-loving sons of bitches. That's the edge of the world. By the end of the day, we'll be at the bottom. Hope you're ready. Now, I got one more rule for you. While we're descending, do not talk to the wizard. Are we clear?
Is he my best friend though? Can I talk to
Do
him?
not talk to the wizard. If you do, we all die. Is it clear? Do you want to die today?
Well, you run a tight ship.
Oh,
so
you might want to die. Oh, well, that's fine. How about you just swim instead? We don't talk to the wizard on this ship. What part of that's so hard to understand? Okay. That's all I needed. Get back to bed if you need. Otherwise, it's a beautiful view. We're going over first. The gnomes are going over second. You don't have a problem with that.
not
He looks right at Tam.
Take out my pan flute. Today's that song.
Aye, lass. Play that pan flute.
Play. What's that song that you, when you break up, you listen to?
Good riddance.
Sure.
anything in the Evanescence catalog?
Oh,
It's like
Waterfall by TLC.
Sure, all of the above.
oh, I would go with "Song for the Dumped" by Ben Folds.
Ooh, good pull. Good pull.
Sure.
Oh, if we're doing that, I would go with "Your Guts I Hate 'Em" by Real Big Fish.
Oh,
I would just want the song that plays while the Titanic's going down.
Yeah.
oh. Jilly Pie in the chat is suggesting "Single Ladies," which is
Sounds fantastic on the pan flute.
Oh,
it's
looking
made
at
I
for
my
wanna
it.
future,
hear
I
a
guess.
Van
Yeah,
Fleet
that
version of
makes
that song.
sense.
All right. As the day progresses, the edge of the world gets larger and larger, and larger and larger, and you begin to see that it is literally just a wall of rocks, for a lack of a better term, jagged. Not sure how it formed, why it's there. In a couple places, there's gaps in these rocks. Some are very tiny, as you get closer to see, just a few feet apart. Looks like nothing from further away. But as you approach, there's a gap probably 50 feet, if you had to guess, 50 feet wide. And as you get closer and closer, and if you guys want to do something ahead of time, please speak up and let me know.
I'm just grabbing the railing like my
Oh.
life depends on it.
These rocks are extremely large and but narrow. There's no real depth to them, as probably 50 feet tall in most places. Jagged, almost like they were summoned from the earth. Not really worn down over time as other mountains would be smooth, but you definitely get a feeling of like suddenness from them, just like they kind of appear out of nowhere. And as your ship begins to approach, your friend wizard, Tape, emerges from his quarters, and he looks to Tam and nods, and then so from your different perspectives on the ship, the water for a second seems calm and almost like you've come to a stop. And then you pick up speed and pick up speed and pick up speed and pick up speed, and next thing you know, the crew has just stopped working and they're just staring. Because at this point they all know there's nothing for them to do. There's nothing to be done. There's nothing. Your fate is what it is. And your ship just begins to rush and rush, and you're getting closer to these rocks. And your ship is 25 to 30 feet wide. There's enough room, but the closest to the rocks, you can almost reach out and touch them, and you maybe extend an arm, and that feeling of closeness is there in your hand, but you never quite reach them. But you're not next to them for long. As your ship just suddenly dives straight down, and everyone's kind of grabbed in almost a split second later after that initial dive, and your stomach just has that feeling of weightlessness just for a moment. The wizard lets out an arcane incantation, then a language that you don't understand, and a booming and unfamiliar voice, not the grandfatherly, elderly scholar voice that you heard before. And his eyes are closed. You notice a staff has emerged from his robe and is making contact with the ship itself. And the ship, for a second, has a light blue glow as it begins to just slowly descend. Just slowly. And the crew, for a second, seems to relax and feel, okay, it's out of their hands. There's nothing to be done. You float down for a couple of minutes, and truthfully, it's quite serene. You can see behind you a waterfall and these rocks that you appear to jut up 50 or so feet. Actually, they jut up for hundreds from the ocean below. And in front of you is just a vast expanse of water, and you've never seen anything like it. You're hundreds of feet above this ocean as you gently and slowly glide down from this massive waterfall from what appears to be an entire ocean's worth of water coming down suddenly. You look out, and it's this deepest, most beautiful blue you've ever seen. The clouds are just scattered, and if it wasn't so dangerous, this might be one of the most perfect moments of your life. But there's untold dangers ahead of you, and it creeps into your mind that you don't know what's happening. After a few minutes, it's a nice moment, and one of the crew says, those gnomes, they're gonna try it. My God, they're gonna try it. And the gnome ship, the same, kind of see from a different perspective as the bow goes out, starts to make a sudden dive, and just as quickly, those side sails we mentioned earlier pop out and form almost draconian wings as the ship itself starts to steady and just glides next to you. And in terms of speed, it has that momentum. It's not inhibited by magic or anything else, and it just starts to catch up, and they're a little closer than what you think most crew might be comfortable with, but from that distance, you can see these gnomes on the deck, and they're cheering, and they're jumping, and they're excited. And Captain Gore yells out to them, "Hey, steer away from us. Steer, go. You're going to hit us." And one of the gnomes, at this point, maybe 40 feet away, the tip of their wing is getting close to your ship, gives 2 thumbs up, and you can't quite make out his words, but definitely a gnomish. And the ship itself starts to, the whole thing just tilts, and it steers away from you, your whole ship. And again, the cheering, they're exuberant. But then the lower wing snaps. It's a great thunderous sound you hear. And the ship itself spins and spins. And barrel rolls down. And suddenly, the huge splash, it hits the water below you, breaking into just 1,000 pieces. You all are still slowly floating down. So you might want to do anything.
We have to help them. I say to the captain,
What are we going to do?
there's got to be survivors. Let's go pick them up.
Sorry, you're both talking at once. Ryan, what were you saying?
Is there any way that we can get down to help them any faster, or?
James, you were saying something as well? The captain
I'm
just
just
kind of
saying,
shakes his head.
there's got to be survivors. Can't we just like pick them up?
And what? We don't have supplies for anyone else. Ken, what are your thoughts? Love to hear them.
Are we in the ship right now, kind of floating down?
You are still descending.
Okay.
Best guess, you're probably 100 feet above the surface of the water.
All right, Ken jumps out of the boat,
All right.
jumps right out, and starts flapping his way down, diving towards the water.
All right. As you do that, you jump. Tape, out of the corner of his eye, sees you and yells, "No!" His staff that he was holding had contact with the boat itself shatters into hundreds upon hundreds of different feathers. He waves an arm towards you, and you suddenly feel lighter, as you were going to start falling slower, knowing that 100-foot fall into water would likely kill you. Just complete frustration on his face as he attempts to put both hands on the ship, as suddenly the entire boat is free falling towards the water. I think we're going to go 2 hours, so I think that's where we're going to end the session today.
Da da da.
A cliffhanger.
No pun intended.
So as of now, our plan is to pick up again on the 24th. So in 2 weeks, we will see what happens to our party. We made it like half as far as I thought we'd make it tonight, but I love that we're developing characters, and I think we have a story going for us. So guys, please tune in again. We'll be playing on the 24th is the plan. With Thanksgiving weekend, it might be a little off. Keep posted on our social media channels on Twitter, Facebook, on Instagram, and we'll definitely update as we can on our regular schedule here on Twitch. I really want to thank these amazing players. You guys made this so much fun, and I can't wait to tell a story with you all. But before we go, do you guys have any parting words, thoughts on the story, things you all want to share?
I'm loving it. Great job so far.
Yeah.
So you're a bastard.
Well, I really hope that our chat and audience enjoyed this. So one of the things that's really great about Twitch, and one of the great ways we build community, so I'm going to ask everyone that's currently watching us just to hang out for a second more. We're going to find a channel to raid. So what raiding does is they're alerted that I am sending all of our viewers to watch, and it's a great chance to check out channels that I love and that I like to watch. So unfortunately, I can't raid Burger Bun right now because she's right here, but at some point, we're going to plan this where I'm going to raid your channel because it's super fun. So once again, thank you guys for the new followers. Thank you for the new subscribers. Let me find a channel real quick to raid. This is tough. So I'm going to send us over to my buddy Jam Cow. He typically does like Minecraft and stuff. He has one of the funniest laughs I've ever heard. He's great to watch. So if you like his channel, give him a follow, say hi. He's playing Fuser right now, and I honestly don't know what that is. So we're going to learn together. So I'm going to get that going. It'll probably take us like 10 seconds. I want to thank you all again for making this first episode so much fun, so great. Our players were absolutely amazing, and we're looking forward to having a great time together.
See you in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Donald.
Yeah.
Hi, thank
Yeah,
you.
bye.
Thanks, benevolent GM.
Thanks, Watch.
Oh, we haven't quite rated yet? All right, 5
Oh,
seconds.
and I genuinely believe a duck would survive a 100-foot fall out of the ship. Yeah, I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna contact the MythBusters myself.
Let's
I
do
mean,
it.
if he's as big as Shaq, maybe.
That's how you described him.
A lot of feathers. Come on.
That still absolutely just sticks in my mind. I never thought I would get a character description to draw that was big as Shaq, and his butt is big like Shaq's.
All right, well, we'll see you guys next time. We're gonna end it on that. Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.